Yo, what's up, bros? Kanal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Let's start digging into what we're seeing in the markets today, and then beyond that, let's take a look and see if there's any plays around. We're going to dig into the indexes, and then let's dig into a couple stocks. Just repeating kind of the theme of the last couple weeks, for really a month, that what we've been saying. This is a distribution market, so there's 4 market cycles: accumulation, distribution, run up, run down. So run up, run down are where you have trends both up and down, right? And your distribution, accumulation, these are sideways markets, but they trade vastly different. We are in a distribution market. What that means is gaps get faded. Good news often will get faded. You'll have a transition from sellers to sellers from buyers. And so essentially what's happening is the sellers will be unloading into these spikes. It's a big liquidity trap often, right, as they're taking profits. But the retail traders are still pumped up, right? Retail traders always get pumped up when markets are near highs, when markets get real hot, right? They don't really get pumped up, when the market's low, right? They're not buy low, sell high. They're more coming in a little bit later. So that's always going to be the case, and so we're kind of seeing, right, and we've seen this kind of a little bit of topping action in crypto and so on and so forth. Does this mean that the bull market is over? No, it does not, but it does mean that for a period of time, we do have to take it easy. I myself am trading half size on almost all the plays, unless there's just something with news out that's really juicy, like maybe Tesla yesterday or something along that end. But otherwise, there is not much to do because you will get shakeouts and fake outs all over the place. This is the intraday chart of the QQQs, and it is a giant poo-poo platter of despair, of shame, right? It's a giant, just nasty platter of wicks and fake outs and fugazis and double lutsies. This is not tradable, not for more than one candle at a time. You could be the best trader around. You could have all this experience. I've been trading since 2008 professionally. Dude, if you buy even 10 cents too high, you're taking a loss. If you're shorting 10 cents too low, you're taking a loss. And so you got to be careful. It's be small size unless there's a piece of news. Look at this, AMD. This had 2 upgrades today from HSBC and I believe from Evercore, right? And so you get a little gap up here, and then it looks like it's going to break out, right? It looks like it's going to break out. I saw, a lot of people, even in my chat room, even when we know not to do it, right? We still will do it sometimes. And so, it breaks out here, right? Pops up for 1 candle. Then, boom, look at the size of the candle, right? So it's it's $1.40. It's a pretty big candle. And then goes sideways for a little bit, pulls back into some support. Bam, right? So now you see a power candle like this, you're thinking, oh, this is a head and shoulders type of deal, and this stock has been rolling over a lot. And so, you know what? Maybe it's going to come and roll over, right? And lo and behold, right, it just holds at the 50-day moving at 50 SMA, 50 EMA. And then it starts to kind of trend up, and then boom, right? So now you're thinking, okay, here we are. Let's short, man. Let's get naked. And then, boom, it lifts back up, back to highs. You're thinking, hey, breakout. And then, boom. And this is, pretty classic. It's pretty much across the board on, all sorts of stocks today. And so this is not where you want to, set your bones, right? Now, there were some pockets of strength out. I thought SMCI had a really, really nice, powerful move. 12%. Dude, $1,000 magnet. It's up 100 points today. That's incredible. So there were some pockets of strength out there. Was this a one-day thing? I don't know. This had a lot aligned. It got an upgrade for 1,500, and then it was really just kind of coiled up on this daily chart here, right? And you were just kind of, if you look at kind of like this hourly chart, you just kind of came and, pushed through this. Now, this specific type of pattern of recent has also failed numerous times, and so, it's a potato. The upgrades have not been working, but maybe this one, because it was such a big upgrade, It did, but then by the way, the way I was thinking about it, like who's Loop Capital? Never heard of it. So it's a little bit of luck of the draw. You just got to play it. If you see the trends emerge, take a shot, but take small shots. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But just kind of keep that into the back of your mind. Hanging Chad on the SPY, meaning you got this big down day and then kind of an inside day, right? Narrow range, super narrow range. We even had Powell talk. I think Barkin was talking. There was all sorts of chatter going on. Still no action, right? Yeah, you got an action for like a minute and then it's sold off. That's classic distribution action. So just kind of be mindful of this stuff. The IWM, we were looking at this, right, for a potential rubber band long yesterday. It did get the gap down and kind of double bottom. It had an okay move, but nothing. It couldn't even hold the red to green spot, right? So it's like really nothing to write home about. I still think it's a rubber band. I think if you gap down again, every time it gaps down, we're going to try long this one. If it gaps up, though, you got to leave it alone. You want this rubber band to really stretch. The further you stretch it, the more likely it is to explode. And so I think there's some, good stuff. Now, let's just take a look into the watch list. Obviously, SMCI, probably top of the list for tomorrow. It may have an inside day tomorrow. And then, you kind of get that end of the week run, which it likes to do when the options get a little bit cheaper. It did have an uptick in volume today. I thought coin had a decent reversal here today. Hammer candle, right? Hammer candle on the 50-day moving average. It had a pretty nice little, nice rebound, 205 to 218. Not an easy trader. Like it was kind of wicking out a little bit, but you got an oversold reading. You come down now from 265 to came down to 205, right? So 60 points. Man, that's 25%, 30%. I mean, that's pretty good. So I think both of these are going to be probably top of the list. You're starting to see Bitcoin start to round. I believe the halvening starts on the 18th. So, let's take a look. This IBIT's holding right at the 50-day moving average. Let's see if this halvening does anything. It may not, but we've got an easy location here that I think we can trade off of. So I really like both of those names. On the relative strength side, there's some names out here. I think we want to kind of buy these dips on Coupang if we can get them. Let it pull back. Any kind of gap down on this or something along that end. I think you can't ignore this accumulation that's happening right now. So that one's looking pretty good. NVIDIA is in its own way kind of coiled up. So that one also, that one's got a chance too. And semis were holding up for the most part. You had a small bid in MU for a little bit. You held at the 20 SMA. So you did have some trender grinders. Not the big sexy ones that you would have, right, a month ago. But you did have a little bit of trender grinders happening here. So I think we can add those if we need them. Microsoft, inside day after this nasty down day. I think if we need a short, and we very well could, 413, a little show and go rug pull on Microsoft, I think will take us down into it. We could take that one and just downtown Julie Brown, that bad boy. Oh, man, it's got a good look to it. Now, there's a couple names I want to put out that are going to be some news plays. You got ADSK will not file annual report on time. Guys, usually when a company delays, right, their annual reports amid internal investigations, right, this is going to be non-compliance. We're waiting for a notice from NASDAQ. This could be something. It may not be something, but the range is going to be there, right? The range is going to be there. You don't want to, in this market environment, that's not the news that you want to be putting out right now. Urban Outfitter, if we need a long, you got 14 stochastics sitting on the 200-day moving average. I think this one and GPS are rubber band longs. This thing was $28, right? You're just grinding down lower Bollinger Band here. And, pretty oversold. So I think these kind of names, there's a couple of these that I want to just add in case the market or the IWM gets flushed out and then starts to rebound like this beyond 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 days in a row under the lower Bollinger Band, 6 stochastics. Dude, gap me down on this thing. I think we try long on it. JBHT, transport services, revenues decline, shares drop after hours. I think this will be in play tomorrow for an ORB to the short side. This is, not the time to be missing out on earnings right now. I like this one. And then HE had a little shred down with some volume today. It looks like Hawaii Electric falls to the 40-year low amid Maui fire report, blah, 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 blah. It's going to be in play tomorrow. You get some pretty good range. And I saw this come out on the wire. I didn't think anything of it. And I got to probably dig, sometimes like you get so used to like some of these stocks. It's been dead for so long. Didn't think anything of it. I should have pulled a chart up and took a look because you had really some sick range on it. And this type of trade, you can get a lot of size in it, right? It's the right price. It's the right liquidity, the right range, the right time in terms of the daily chart where it's like kind of busting these lows. That's going to be a good looker there. So I want to have a mix. We want to have some longs. We want to have some shorts. We want to have some momentum trades. Then we want to have some support trades and kind of have a mixed bag so that when the market shows its hand, we've got a plan for everything. I think that's the way to kind of approach things tomorrow. I will see everybody in the Boom Boom Room tomorrow. Take care. Godspeed. Shalom.